Hello everybody, I hope that you're well. My name is Christianne and welcome to my channel Backpacking Bananas. I am in the city of Seoul in South Korea and I am about to have my very first Korean bathhouse experience. This is a very traditional, common thing to have done or to go to in Korea. I believe they call them jjimjilbangs, and to get a body scrub. And so I was really keen to have this experience. I've heard it's not what we're going to be used to. We're going to be naked amongst everyone in there. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit nervous because that's not the kind of exposure that I normally give myself in public places. But obviously it's female only. I'm going to a spa called Spa Lei, which is in the northern side of the Gangnam region of Seoul. So I just got a bus here. I obviously can't film anything when I'm in there, so I'm just going to share with you what this experience is like afterwards. So let me tell you about my time in this Korean bathhouse. First, I'll tell you exactly what happened and what to expect, and then I'll tell you my thoughts and opinion on the whole experience. So when you arrive, you take off your shoes and put them in a little locker. And then at reception, you pay 20,000 Korean won, and this is just to enter the spa. They give you a robe, 2 small towels, and a new locker key for your downstairs locker. You then make your way downstairs to the basement where the spa actually is and find your way to the locker room. When you arrive at your locker, you should get on your robe. You can put all of your belongings and clothes in the locker, and the key is like a waterproof bracelet, and that is quite literally the only thing that you keep on you. You should strip down to complete stark bollock naked nudity underneath this robe. You can then go wherever you want. There's a big sauna, infrared steam room, hot tub room, shower space, meditation space. Now, because I knew I wanted the body scrub experience, I headed straight through to the massage space, which was just through from the hot tub. In there was a menu of about 7 items ranging from 50,000 Korean won to 150,000 Korean won in price. Now, it was all in Korean, so I still don't know exactly which price meant what, but I told her I wanted a body scrub, massage, and facial. And to be honest, it was still unclear how much that was going to cost, but she wrote down our names on the wall and the time of our appointment. We made sure it was at least 20 minutes later because I've heard that it's very important to warm up our bodies in the hot tubs to soften the skin before your scrub. We also found out at this point that you had to pay for this in cash, which at this point I did not have. So we actually went back to our lockers to grab our purse, back up to reception, and there was an ATM there. So I got out the maximum amount of 150,000 Korean won, just in case that's how much my treatment would be. So I would recommend getting this cash out before you head down if you don't already have any. We then went back down and straight to the hot tub room. You must shower before you go in the water. There are little cubbies where you can stick your robe and towels, but literally everything is communal and everyone just walks around butt naked. There was tubs of a few different temperatures. I could handle the one that was about 39 degrees, but I could not handle the one that was hotter than that. They also had a 15-degree plunge pool as well, so I kind of flitted in between the pools, conscious that I wanted to warm my skin as much as possible before my scrub. Then my masseuse actually came up to me to tell me that it was time for my appointment. They are very good at finding you. And so you go over to the massage space, which is all completely open and communal. There are just a few beds all in a row, and any previous reservations you've ever had about revealing yourself to people you don't know, throw them out of the window because you're about to spend the next hour butt naked posing in different positions in an open room with lots of people just milling around you. So first is the body scrub. The lady had me lie down on my back as she scrubbed me quite literally from head to toe. No holding back on any nooks and crannies. They really get right into every crevice, even those super close to your vajayjay. By the way, the masseuses are literally in their underwear, and that does make you feel a lot better about being naked yourself. I closed my eyes during this whole thing because I felt more comfortable that way. Anyway, she tells you to switch up positions so she can really get every angle on your side, other side, lying on your front. And the scrub is vigorous. It's certainly not gentle. And if you do look, you can literally see all of the dead skin on the table. There is so much. After about 20 minutes of scrubbing, she grabs a massive bucket of warm water and quite literally just chucked it all over me and the whole table like a big adult baptism. She then told me to go and wash myself and pointed in the direction of this shower space right next to the hot tub. So I went over. They're like seated showers. So you sit down and make sure you have got all of those scrubbing beads off you, and then you return to the table. Next was the massage. So I lay on my front. So she covered my entire body with hot towels and started the massage with strong squeezing technique, kind of just working her way around the backside of my body, pushing and squeezing my different body parts. At one point I was thinking, wow, my masseuse is so strong. This is a lot of pressure that she is managing to press. So I decided to have a little peek, and I opened my eyes to see her quite literally standing right on top of me, on top of the table, and just walking all over me. It was a bit of a jump scare. I was not expecting to see that. Then she got off, and to do my upper back, she leapt on top of me and straddled me to get into position. Nothing about this was gentle. At some point I turned over onto my back. There were new hot towels over me, and she repeated this pushing and squeezing massaging technique. Luckily she did not stand on top of me or straddle me when I was lying on my back though. She then removed the towels and lathered me up in an incredibly oily, slimy, creamy substance for the second part of the massage. I preferred this part as it was more of like a rubbing rather than a squeezing, but don't be fooled. It is still aggressive. I felt like a ragdoll because when she was done with a body part, she would just fling it out of the way and it would land on the table in like a slimy slap. And I was sliding around this table like a literal slug. I thought I was going to slide off at one point. I was actually laughing inside of my head because I've never experienced anything like this before. At some point she started the facial where she put a very thick cucumber smelling sludge all over my face, cucumbers over my eyes, and she then wrapped up my whole head in a towel, as in the whole front side as well, completely covered. So at this point you're just entirely naked with your head entirely covered in a towel. All I was thinking was, thank God my nose wasn't blocked, because if I had to breathe through my mouth during that, we would have run into some issues. Whilst the product did its work on my face, she continued to massage my body, and she also washed and vigorously massaged my head as well. Though my hair really did not feel soft after that, so I'm not sure what she washed it with or what the purpose of that was. Anyway, after 1 hour in the massage chair, my treatment was over, and she asked me to go back in the shower myself again in those sit-down showers, and then I had to pay. So I went back to my locker to get my cash out, and it was 100,000 Korean won. In hindsight, I should have kept that cash in my pocket of my robe so I didn't have to go all the way back to my locker. Sadly, I didn't have time to stay much longer after the treatment. I did want to experience the sauna, but I also didn't want to affect how my skin currently felt, because I kid you not, I felt like an absolute newborn baby. My skin was so soft, so supple. My body felt relaxed. I never felt so clean in my life. So I walked back to my locker, got dressed, grabbed my things, and off I went. So that was what happened and what you can expect in a Korean bathhouse. Now, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel pretty uncomfortable when I took my robe off for the very first time and was completely naked in front of all of these strangers. It was just so foreign to me. But to be fair, you very quickly get used to it because literally everyone is naked from the moment you walk downstairs, and literally no one cares. And you see women with all types of body shapes and sizes, women with all different styles of pubic hair, some bald, some neatly kept, some full bushes. And once you realize that this is a safe space and this is the norm, and that of course everyone has a body, it really makes you start to question why we as a society are so conservative about our bodies and why it's so horrifying to see nipples and vaginas in public. Why? That whole thing is literally just a social construct. And you know, seeing all of these women with all these different bodies wandering around so freely really made me feel very self-confident in my own body and liberated and empowered. And it really got me thinking, most of the time when we see women's bodies is on social media, and more often than not it's an influencer with like a model-like figure. It often feels, when you spend a lot of time online, that body type, bodies that are conventionally perfect, is the norm. And if you don't look like that you are less than perfect, you don't look as good as that, and it causes us to be very self-critical of our own bodies and can cause a lot of self-loathing, which of course is really not nice at all. I think it's such a breath of fresh air to be exposed to what normal bodies look like. The Korean Bathhouse really emphasized this realization for me. Does this mean I'm going to start going to nudist beaches and possibly start doing other nudist activities? No, probably not. Despite this realization and new appreciation, I don't think I would quite feel comfortable with doing that yet. It still feels weird and bizarre and just so damn foreign that I still think it's very much outside of my comfort zone, but I would totally go to a Korean bathhouse again. I think it would take me a few visits there to normalize this experience for me, and I genuinely think that it would do wonders for my self-confidence, self-acceptance, and not to mention the banging smooth, soft skin. And I'm glad that the Korean lady was as rough and vigorous as she was and spoke basically no English, because I think when you are in a position that feels vulnerable, you gotta be dealt with in a no-nonsense attitude to make you not care. She's like, I don't give a shit, so you shouldn't give a shit. I remember an interview that Rihanna once did about getting a wax down there, and she said that she had specifically requested a no-nonsense old Russian woman who spoke no English. Instead, unfortunately, she was given a young American girl who knew exactly who she was, and Rihanna felt so uncomfortable. I think the same goes for this Korean bathhouse. Do you know what I mean? So that was my experience and thoughts. I would highly recommend visiting a Korean bathhouse when in Korea and going for the whole body scrub experience. Not only do I feel like a changed woman physically, I feel like a changed woman mentally as well. And like I always say, it's only when we take ourselves outside of our comfort zone that we start to grow as people. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever done this? Would you do this? Let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.